Hey everybody, it's Mark here. I hope you're having a great day, and this video is to help you get that 7 or 8 you need in your IELTS writing, particularly on the essay, and even more particularly on writing task 2 about opinions. That's me right here. That's me actually giving a seminar on teaching writing for English Australia. Now, let's get to the point. Let's look at what we're talking about here. Opinion questions. Now, I'll just get right to the question. I want to keep this video a little bit shorter. Here is a typical opinion question that I love to talk about. Should governments provide free school lunches for elementary school children? Simple question. Remember, this video is to teach you about how to get a 7 or 8. I'll be showing an example of a essay. Now, the essay should get a 8 or 9, but the main idea we're looking at here is how to extend ideas. The first thing I want to say when we're looking at this question is any of these IELTS questions, ladies and gentlemen, you need to have an idea. You need to respond. You need to have an opinion. A lot of times I get students say, oh, I don't care. Oh, I have no opinion. If you're trying to get a 7 or 8, that's just not good enough. You need to respond to this question. This is a very serious issue. Money for school lunches, that comes from taxes. Your money pays for that. If children are not healthy and they grow up to be unhealthy, your taxes pay for health care. If you are unhealthy, this is going to decrease the quality of your life. So have an opinion. It's extremely important. So if you don't have these ideas, it's going to be very difficult to develop your ideas. Second piece of advice, avoid cliches. Now, I always use for example as my example. You don't need to rely on these expressions. For example, in conclusion, first of all, in my opinion. They're not wrong. Actually, first of all is okay, but in conclusion, it doesn't really help you. And if you try to use these or learn these connectors, it's lazy writing. You're not trying to improve your writing. You're just using these words. So they're not wrong, but for a 7 or 8, they're just not necessary. Finally, or not finally, sorry, clear position. That really comes back here, right? You should have a yes or no answer to this question. Have a clear position. Not 50-50. It doesn't depend on the situation. 9 times out of 10, probably 10 times out of 10, if I read an IELTS essay and it says it depends on the situation or 50-50, both are correct, the answer doesn't do very well. Even if there's, wonderful grammar, it just doesn't help. Make sure you have a yes, no, or at least, 60% yes answer. And finally, extend your ideas. Now, I said avoiding, for example. I will show you a good way to extend ideas. Now, to answer this question, should governments provide free school lunches for elementary school children, you may say, I don't know. I have no opinion. I will cut down to the bottom. Learn. This is a great talk by Jamie Oliver. I've referenced it in other videos. Watch it. Learn. It's very interesting. Now, if you watch it and learn, don't worry if you don't understand everything. Just try to understand the main problem he is talking about. Children's health, obesity. He talks about what causes the problem. He talks about the effect of the problem. He talks about solutions. Just learn. The more you learn, the easier the IELTS test is. The more opinions you have, the easier writing and speaking are. If you have no opinions, it's going to be a very difficult test. Now, when you're writing, how do you extend your ideas? I've got a few examples here. Now, I admit I just said don't say in my opinion, but I've used it here just to illustrate. What is your position? Yes, governments should, or no, they should not. What are your reasons? Okay? Most importantly, or one of the most important things you can think about is think about effect. What is the effect of something? If children not having healthy lunch leads to obesity. Why is that a problem? What is that going to lead to? What's the consequence of that? So these are wonderful pieces of grammar that are going to help increase your grammar score in IELTS. Even if your grammar is correct, if it's not complex, you will not get the score you want. So these participle clauses, which I will show you, can really help a lot, but you're not going to use them if you don't think about the effect of your idea or the effect of your opinion. Devil's advocate, why would people disagree with your opinion? Okay? Although it's expensive to pay for free lunches, it will be more expensive in the future to pay for healthcare. Easy. What happens if we don't? This is almost, you could put this into any IELTS body paragraph. If we do not give kids free school lunches, this will be the consequence. If children grow up with bad eating habits, this will be the consequence. I might take this one out. This is more about speaking. I don't think it's really necessary in your writing, but it is a good thing for critical thinking. What are the possible solutions? Finally, again, to conclude any paragraph, a lot of times you see therefore begin the last sentence. Lately, I've been using this structure here. The more we teach children now, the better the future will be. This comparative structure. So keep that in mind. I'll show you how to do that in the rest of the video. All right, so here's the beginning of my essay. Children's health is a serious issue. Simple first sentence. I'm establishing the topic. Now, this is very important, you guys. I see a lot of essays say, children's health is the most important issue ever, or is a very controversial topic. That's fine, but your next sentence must explain why. Do not say it's a serious issue and then say nothing about it. You don't need to say anything like, in today's modern society. It's just wasting time. Don't write it. Today, many children are suffering serious health problems, such as diabetes, heart disease, and increased risk of cancer. Okay, so again, I said it's a serious issue. Why? To be honest, I could go further and say that this has a huge social and economic cost, but I'm not doing that because it's a short introduction. Then I connect the point. A lot of this is connected to poor eating habits. Then I make the point. Making a habit of healthy eating is one way to eliminate the problem. So I've addressed the question a little less directly. I know that a lot of teachers teach, paraphrase it and put it in the introduction. It's not wrong. I do recommend it sometimes, but it's not necessary. My simple advice is, something is a problem, explain why. Okay? Don't use any formula here. Just say there's a problem or something is important, explain why, address the question, and then, importantly, state your position. Governments ought to provide healthy lunches for all school children. Okay, finished. To make it a little more grammatical and to make it a bit more coherent, I've pointed this out. Although it may be expensive, complex grammar, governments should provide. So also, please do not write thesis in here. I've had some students do that. That should not be there. I just want to point out that's your thesis. This is your argument. If you do not have this, your score will probably come down, and honestly, your writing won't be as clear. This is for you. You need to be sure what your position is. If this is clear at the beginning, the rest of the writing will very likely be clearer. You need this as much as the person reading. And please try to avoid, this essay will talk about whether or not school. Just say your position. Have a clear position. You need that for a 7 and higher. Then, first sentence, topic sentence of your body paragraph. Providing healthy lunches will reduce healthcare costs in the future. Finished. Clear idea. Then explain why. If young people make a habit of eating well as children, they will most likely continue to do so in the future. So there's my reason why. Children need healthy eating habits in the future. Then we talked about this. Effect. What's the effect? Pardon me. and then comma resulting in fewer health conditions. Again, guys, I could really write a lot more here, but I'm just trying to highlight the idea leads to the grammar, not the other way around. The more you think about these ideas, the more you organize your ideas, and effect is a great one to deal with, the better your grammar will be. And then I do it again. Another effect. This, in turn, will reduce visits to the doctor as well as expensive treatments. Okay? Effect, effect. Really nice. This is I love this one. This, in turn, you could put commas here, but I'm not going to. It's arguable. This, in turn, will reduce visits. So here, effect. Here, effect. Now, here, don't go period as a result. Period as a result. It's repetitive. I've done effect and used two different grammar structures. Cohesion. This. What's this? The whole sentence. So I'm really improving my cohesion score and my grammar score and my task achievement. All three parts are better now. Then we talked about the reversal. What if we do not? Without healthy eating habits, poor health will be a lifelong problem for many people. Again, I can talk more about the effect of that, but I'm just highlighting how to extend ideas. Although it requires money up front, it will lead to future savings. Again, this is probably too much. It's probably more important for me to explain this, but just to show you another example, although. Then, to end it, the more we invest now, the more we will save later. Again, future savings. To be honest, this is a little repetitive, but it shows you how to use this idea to improve your grammatical structures or to get better grammatical structures. And again, look at the first sentence. Reduce healthcare costs. Reduce healthcare costs. One paragraph, one idea. Another benefit is it will strengthen the economy. Now, arguably, that's what I said here, but I look at it a little differently here. Why? The main reason is if people are healthier, they will not miss work. Okay. So, what does that mean? What's the effect? This means their company will be more productive. Again, effect. And governments will collect more taxes. Furthermore, when people are sick, family members may need to take time off to care for them, okay? Further reducing incomes for individuals as well as taxes for government. So again, effect. Further reducing. Oh, there we go. And then just for variety, I've got here. Therefore, by focusing on health, governments can protect the economy. Again, very different approach. Finally, my conclusion, you do not need to say, in conclusion, it's not necessary. It's not wrong, but it's lazy. It doesn't really help, and your conclusion should be clear. What do you write in a conclusion? I will show you. So I said here, health is not just a private matter, it is a public one, meaning for the government. Now, I did this whole thing about, I'm summarizing a little bit. While there will be an initial cost in the beginning, future generations will benefit from government planning that focuses on citizen well-being. So always end by looking to the future. You just told me all this stuff, so what? Tell me about the future. Why is this important? Give me a recommendation. Give me a suggestion. Maybe a prediction. You could say, if governments, or a warning, sorry, not a prediction, but a warning. If governments do not do this, there will be major social and economic problems. You could talk about all sorts of things here. So just look to the future, make a prediction or a recommendation. You don't need any, for the reasons I mentioned above, or as I said in the essay, that just doesn't really help. You're just repeating yourself. If you repeat yourself, your score is limited. So do not summarize. Look to the future. Anyway, you guys, I'm going to stop there. Please feel free to ask any questions if you have any questions. I hope this helps. As I said, guys, if you go on YouTube or TED.com, you can watch Jamie Oliver talk about food. Amazing TED Talk. Please watch these videos. They are full of amazing ideas. And as I said, don't worry about understanding every word. Just understand this, okay? If you don't understand something, don't worry. Just try to find the causes of the problem and the effect. The more you do this, the easier the writing will be. All right, you guys, have a great day, and I'll talk to you another day.